Tonight, MPP issues urgent plea to all party members who used to support Alan Kyerematen to stay with the party following the former trade minister's decision to break away.
He made a premeditated and irrevocable decision to resign from the party. To all party faithfuls who were hitherto supporting Mr. Kyerematen, we urge you to continue supporting the party in our quest to break the eight.
We have the latest as the party calls out Mr. Kyerematen challenging his basis for resigning from the MPP.
In reference to Mr. Kyerematen's concerns, which include allegations of intimidation against his supporters, that certain government appointees, including cabinet ministers, who openly declared their support for him, are still at post and have never been intimidated.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. It has been 24 hours since former Trade Minister Alan Kyerematen dropped that bombshell, breaking away from the MPP to run as an independent candidate. The biggest unknown was who else within the party's hierarchy, rank and file, will follow him out of the MPP. Well, tonight, the party is issuing an urgent plea to all party members who used to support Mr. Kyerematen to stay. The General Secretary of the MPP has been addressing a news conference.
In reference to Mr. Kyerematen's concerns, which include allegations of intimidation against his supporters, it is noteworthy that certain government appointees, including cabinet ministers, who openly declared their support for him, are still at post and have never been intimidated. To all party faithfuls who were hitherto supporting Mr. Kyerematen by virtue of his membership in the party, though it is disappointing and distressing, we urge you to continue supporting the party in our quest to break the eight. Together, we shall overcome challenges, and together, we shall achieve success.
Well, today we have been hearing from some party stalwarts who had backed Mr. Kyerematen when he contested in the MPP Superdelegates Congress. Many are staying put, refusing to follow Mr. Kyerematen out of the MPP. Listen to MP for Mpraiso, Davis Opoku-Ansah, and former Mensah North MP Collins Owusu-Amankwa, who had all supported Mr. Kyerematen's campaign to lead the MPP before his resignation yesterday.
Well, they say the emotion that can break your heart is sometimes the very one that feels it. But in all things, let's give thanks to the Almighty God. Certainly, I'm not a happy person. This is the man that I have personally supported since 2005 as a party man. And he has now declared his intention to go independent presidential candidate. I can only wish him well. But the principle is that I, Kwame Owusu-Amankwa, remain with the elephant symbol. I'm NPP man, I'm a patriot, and I'll continue to champion the cause of New Patriotic Party.
And that, by the way, is one of those who was a loyalist, supported Alan Kyerematen throughout. Now, the Deputy Finance Minister, Abena Osai-Asare, also issued a statement today distancing herself from Mr. Kyerematen. She has been one of the few notable serving ministers on Mr. Kyerematen's campaign team when he ran to lead the MPP. My colleague Kweku Asante was at the MPP press conference and joins me in the studio with more. It appears, Kweku, that the party made it a point to show that many previous supporters of Mr. Kyerematen have deserted him.
Yes, in fact, Nana B actually did a roll call Okaikwe Central MP and Patrick Boama. Hitherto, we did not even know publicly that he was backing Alan Kyerematen. According to the party, he backed Alan Kyerematen and he's staying put. They mentioned Honorable Sylvester Tete and a host of others. But one other person who actually came to this news conference, came to stand behind the leadership of the party, was Catherine Afeku. She was a minister and was one of the few vociferous persons who was leading Alan's campaign. According to Madame Afeku, I caught up with her. She's sticking with the NPP because no individual person is bigger than a collective of the New Patriotic Party.
The Honorable Alan Kyerematen had come out to the public that he has withdrawn from the race, and any patriotic citizen who believes in the ideals and the principles of the New Patriotic Party, through which we met him, humbly will stay within the party. So if you use the word abandon, and I think you need to correct that. That is the very essence of what will make some people stay in the shadows. So you should actually ask, are you still in the party, or you have also left? Because we are above 21, we make our own decisions. So son, I am still a member of the New Patriotic Party, a dues paying member, up to date, and actually a full communicator for the New Patriotic Party. So I am a loyal patriot, and I'm in the party.
I don't tell you about this decision.
No, I don't think we're here for that. I'm here to support the party, and I want to reiterate that again. The party is supreme. So let's send that message out there that we are the New Patriotic Party, and our symbol is the elephant.
And quickly, what about all the reasons Mr. Kyerematen gave for resigning? Does the party accept he had a case?
The party says Mr. Alan Kyerematen actually misrepresented the facts when he made that press conference. In particular, Alan Kyerematen had spoken about an alleged hijacking of the NPP by certain elements within the Dankwa Buzia tradition. The General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodua, is clear that some of the issues Alan had raised were simply untenable, and in fact, they had answers to all of them, and that it's not true that the party has been hijacked. It is not true that its supporters were intimidated, and all those claims are simply unfounded.
The leadership of the party equally disagrees with the assertion made by Mr. Kyerematen in page 8 of his resignation address that the party has been hijacked by a selected group of party leaders and elders and government appointees behind the curtain power brokers. Guided by the facts and data, the leadership of the party disagree entirely with this assertion. Historically, the selection of flag bearers for political parties in Ghana had been the preserve of a privileged few until the New Patriotic Party took the bold decision to decentralize the process by expanding its electoral college to enfranchise some 106,590 delegates in 2010. Currently, about 200,000 delegates will be voting to select the party's next flag bearer relative to the estimated 1,998 who did same in 1992. Clearly, the quantum leap to 200,000 delegates in 2023 underscores the decentralization of power to all party stakeholders and defeat the assertion that the party has been hijacked by a privileged few.
And quickly, yesterday we observed Alan Kyerematen chose a forum to announce this, a news conference, very well covered. It appears the party is not happy with that.
Yes, the party says the national chairman had actually had some conversation with Alan Kyerematen post the period that he announced that he was no longer going to run for the flag bearership race any longer, and that in fact Alan had not given any information at all that he was going to take such a decision to allow the party to take any decision if they wanted to. So according to Justin Frimpong Kodua, it appears Alan had actually thought about this decision. It was premeditated, and that what Alan has done simply means that he has irrevocably decided to leave the party.
The disappointing part is the mode in which he decided to resign from the party, which was through a press conference without prior notice to the party. The party wants to believe that by his decision to hold a press conference to resign without first informing the leadership of the party suggests that he made a premeditated and irrevocable decision to resign from the party. It needs emphasizing that when the national chairman visited him on behalf of the party after the August 26th Special Electoral College in an attempt to bring all the 10 aspirants together, he did not portray any sign of resigning from the party, let alone going independent. The New Patriotic Party acknowledged this Mr. Chematin's contribution to our party's growth and development over the years. We respect his decision and extend our gratitude for the services rendered to the NPP and Mata Ghana.
Kweku, I'm curious, is it true that the NPP General Secretary actually found time to commend Alan Chematin and asked other party loyalists to emulate him?
Yes. According to Justin Frimpong Kodia, Alan actually spoke about the achievements of the NPP government when he decided to resign and go for independence at the press conference yesterday. And so this is something all party members, including certain ministers, must do in publicizing the good works of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration leading up to the 2024 election.
We use this opportunity to commend Mr. Chematin for admitting the good work the government has done under his then ministry, namely the establishment of One District, One Factory initiative, the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area after the headquarters of the Secretariat in Ghana, the development of new strategic anchor industries, including automobile assembly and component manufacturing, the establishment of business resource centers and technology solution centers all over the country, the establishment of the Integrated Customs Service UNIPAS to enhance government revenue, the establishment of industrial parks, including the Greater Kumasi Industrial City and Special Economic Zone, the development of a national export strategy with a target of achieving export revenue of $25 billion by 2030, the introduction of business regulatory reforms and public-private dialogue mechanisms to facilitate government interaction with the private sector. Indeed, the NPP has done well. The party further urges all sector ministers and other government appointees to also start propagating the unprecedented achievement of the government in their respective sectors, just as Mr. Chematin has done.
We'll hear from the party pretty shortly. We'll also be hearing from now the chief spokesperson for Alan Chematin, now that he decided to go independent and break away from the NPP. A key issue that also emerged today at this press conference was a party's clear strategy to target the rank and file of the party and rally them. Remember yesterday when they issued a statement, their approach was to call for calm. Well, today, the General Secretary had words for the rank and file of the party.
Since 1992, several party faithfuls have had the vision to lead the party and subsequently to lead the country. But sadly, as nature has its own course, only a few have had the opportunity to achieve that vision. Party faithfuls who never had to never resigned from the party, but continued to serve, some until they were called to eternity. And this reminds us of personalities such as Professor Dubois, Dr. Selby, Dr. Safuadu, Dr. Addison, Mr. Kodia, J.H. Mensah, and the rest. Just as many faithfuls who had no vision to lead the party, but served the party in various capacities and never tasted power, but died holding on to the banner of our great party. The NPP has always been a dynamic and resilient political party, and this moment serves as an opportunity for us to demonstrate our unity, fortitude, and unwavering commitment to the principles upon which our party was founded. As the party strives to win the 2024 general election and make a monumental record, we urge party faithfuls to reaffirm their dedication towards this common goal. Our party strength has always been derived from the unity and resilience of our members, and we call upon each and every one of you to rally together and uphold the principles that define us. Indeed, we are the NPP, and the elephant is our real symbol.
Well, joining me right now in the studio is Courage Nobi. He's the Acting Director of Communications for the Alan for President. Courage, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Evans.
Just before you join us, we've been hearing today from many of Alan's loyalists who supported him when he was still within the MPP and campaigning to lead the party in the just ended Superdelegates Congress. One of them is Abeno Sassari, has issued a statement today distancing himself from the decision that he's taking. You've heard from the former Mengsha North MP, colleagues Owusu Amankwa, and Pariso MP Davis Opoku Ansa. We've also today at the party's press conference heard from Catherine Afeku, and others were also there, paraded in front of the cameras to show that you have been deserted. Alan Kyerematen has been deserted. Now, Alan Kyerematen clearly took this decision to resign without care for what it would mean for those who backed him quite closely and stood with him throughout the time that he was there. This was a selfish decision, was it not?
Thank you very much, Evans. Good evening to your listeners and everyone. I think that they, as individuals, everybody has the right to make a decision for himself. For us as young people, we appreciate the effort that the senior members of the Alan for President campaign put in at the time. We truly appreciate it. Under the circumstances, they have made a decision that they believe is best for them, and we do not fault any of them for the decisions that they have made. We respect their decision as individuals, and that is what it will remain. However, for many of us young people, for the thousands of us who still believe that the Honorable Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen has the character, the competence, the vision, and most importantly, the track record to lead this country through a transformational leadership agenda, we are still with him, we support him boldly, and that is what we continue to do with the movement for change.
In essence, Alan, in terms of the backbone he had when he was in the MPP, is in effect standing alone here.
I think Honorable Alan Kyerematen's backbone has always been the grassroots, the teeming number of young people whose progress and success he has championed over the years through his industrialization drive and his fight for inclusiveness, for good quality leadership, a leadership that is honest, that is sincere, and a leadership that delivers.
And the grassroots, are you talking about the MPP grassroots?
I think Alan Kyerematen's appeal goes beyond even the NPP, and for me that is the strength that we have in the candidate that we are supporting. Honorable Alan Kyerematen appeals beyond the political demographics. He appeals very wide and far across the grassroots of this nation. The young people everywhere, both partisan and non-partisan, have extreme faith in him. That is what his confidence has always been about.
Let's talk about some of the specifics that Alan put out yesterday as a reason for his resignation. The party today took those on. Let's start with the accusation that the party had been hijacked by some faceless individuals. Who are these individuals?
I believe that the outturn or the outcome of these individuals we have all seen. The party that was set up in 1992 is no longer what we have today. And Honorable Alan Kyerematen has been very clear about it.
Yeah, and he blamed individuals in the party for that.
Of course.
But hasn't he got the courage to name them?
I think he mentioned the categories of people.
Yeah, but
and those categories of people do exist.
But who are these? They don't have names?
Of course. We know who are those in charge of the party. We know those behind those in charge of the party. The referents know themselves, and I believe that in his very true judgment, he decided to leave it at the categories. I would want to respect that, because he's a very decorous man. He's a man who has always exercised a lot of restraint in his judgment and in his character, and that is what we're seeing. And for me, that is
you make
strong.
the point that yesterday, and the party again addressed this today, that his supporters were intimidated, they were hounded, they hijacked. The party is very clear that there were serving cabinet ministers, individuals in the MPP who were actually ministers, either in cabinet or out of cabinet, and some of them members of parliament. They are still there. They are not complaining that they have been intimidated. In fact, today we've had many of them say they are happy with the NPP. So what's the basis of that suggestion that people were intimidated?
I think it is quite disingenuous for one to cite this and say that that is enough. Because at the end of the day, his supporters are not just the appointees. Like we've said here in the studio, he has a broad-based support. His supporters within the party have started various forms of intimidation. We also saw the pictures of our Northeast coordinator who nearly lost his eye. He's presently partially blind, and we are hoping that...
and he blames the party's hierarchy for that?
Absolutely. The party's hierarchy oversaw that election. The party's hierarchy were responsible for the conduct of that election in that election, particularly in the Northeast, where Alhaji Baumier's home region, where that dastardly act took place.
Yeah, I mean, but
the chairman of the party, the regional chairman of the party was there. All regional executives were present. Constituency chairmen were all present. These are the leaders of the party.
Yeah, but to say that because somebody was assaulted, however condemnable that is, you blame the party at the national level for it. I believe. Isn't that why you raised concerns? And the party said they were being addressed. The national chairman actually visited him in his house to try and get some resolution to these issues.
Evans, I am here in your studios. There's a management here. You yourself here as a host, you're in charge. If somebody walks into the studio to accost me, whilst all your producers and technical and everybody is there, and nobody lifts a finger, and I'm accosted, you are to blame for that. So when party regional executives, constituency chairmen have gathered for an election, these are the top echelons of the party, and said dastardly acts could be allowed to be perpetrated, and up to today, nobody has been arrested. Up to today.
But that's the job of the police.
Of course. But why has nobody been arrested? The regional minister was there.
Yeah, but the regional minister is not empowered.
He chairs the regional security committee.
But he still cannot make an arrest.
He does not make an arrest, but as the chairman, he should be interested in this matter. My point is that the evidence is overwhelming.
Okay, stay with me, please. I want to bring in Hackman Owusu-Agyemang. And Hackman Owusu-Agyemang is the chairperson of the party's Council of Elders. Ms. Owusu-Agyemang, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you very much, Ivan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm happy that you could join us. Is it fair to say your good friend Alan Chamanting, he's no longer with the MPP? What's your reaction to all this?
Well, I think that when you have an aggregation of personalities in a party such as ours, once in a while you get a little bit of a movement which is not the best of movements. I mean, but the party is strong, the party is committed, the party is dedicated, and the party is going forward with its own agenda. I believe that no single person should think he's bigger than the party, quote and unquote. We've had this thing through all over again. It happened some years ago. He left and then he came back, and we are all going together. I believe that when there have been difficulties in the party, maybe he should have had his patience and reported this to the authorities of the party, and then it would have been taken care of.
I mean, he says that he reported and nothing was done about it, and he listed a host of grievances that the party have left to fester without dealing with, and that's why he's taken the decision.
Even as far as I know, when you report issues like this, it goes to the national officer, then to the national disciplinary committee, and as far as I know, they have been meeting, and some of these items are on the agenda. They have happened. What we have to do is to see how we can solve it. But to decide to leave the party and in so going, pull people along with you and use phraseologies and sentences which are not which are not good, at the end of the day, it's not the best of ways to do it. To tell that what the National Council decided was unmeritorious and what have you and the rest, and you went on and on and on. I don't think that's what it is. If one were to take Alan on, and it's my younger brother, all of them, from where I sit, but when somebody does something wrong, you should tell that person that he's done something wrong. For example, he starts also by saying that the national, our first national headquarters was sort of the seed money was paid by the York Executive Forum. That is a palpable lie. The national headquarters was bought by myself, and then Kwame Pianim, when he came out of prison, supported it with about 6 million, and that's how we got it. That you know even how much the place cost, and this thing, what they did was to buy furniture from Ashanti Furniture, 7 million, and they put it in the conference room.
And what you're referring to?
Go through this, we would try and even one by one say that these things that he has done is not correct.
Yeah, I mean, but Mr. Osachman, just for context,
now that you've asked me, I believe even that he should not have taken that course. We're all available. He never consulted any of us, and we have, in the past, in the background, we have been putting things together and sometimes resolving issues within the party. And the way to go is not the way to go. And that is why most of the people who are with him are now beginning to declare openly that they are, because our constitution is absolutely clear. Article 3, I think 9, says something like, if you should do that, you automatically forfeit your membership of the party. And this is where he has dragging most people into this thing, and it's not helpful at all. For us, you ask me, what is it? It shouldn't have happened. It has happened. We're more than strong enough to overcome this little difficulty. And when you have a group of this nature, from time to time, you have some issue that you don't want to sort of handle. So I'm really sorry that he is gone. But to say also, for example, that innovations and what have you are not by individuals and not by parties, I cannot accept that. The party has a manifesto and what everybody must do. And so when you play your part to it, it doesn't mean that you have not a member of government, but I tell you, I went to 4 countries for the African Free Trade Thing, and I sort of campaigning for Ghana. 4 countries in Southern Africa. I know. So he cannot claim that is his initiative. It is the initiative of the party, and he was the lead person doing it. I think we must get all these things clear in the architecture of political movements in this country, and not people don't begin to allocate to themselves everything that is good, and what about things that is bad in the ministry, in the trade and industry? Is he going to take responsibility for those? No. You are a member of the team that is playing, led by the president, and you have to respect that. That was your role, and that doesn't necessarily give to you the initiative that you think you have put there.
Yeah,
what about the cabinet? What about our manifesto?
Yeah, Mr. Hagman Osachman, there is something you mentioned that I wanted to get further clarity on. You mentioned the Young Executive Forum. Mr. Chemanting had yesterday stated, quote, the Young Executive Forum since 1992 became the financial backbone of the party and provided significant financial resources to support the party in all its endeavors, including the seed fund for the purchase of the party's first national headquarters building. You say that is not true?
That is not true. I was the first national treasurer for the party, so I know each and every contribution that was made by the party. Me, personally, I'm not boasting. I'm a friend of Sandy Borders. paid more than the national, the young executive. When I came from the United Nations, with all the money that I earned from my pension, I put it in the party. Have I made any noise about it? And whatever it's, what they did was their contribution was given to Dr. Safwedu to pay for his money that we're asking of all the aspirants at that time, and that's what it was. So if you give your support one candidate, doesn't mean that you come out to the world and tell the whole world that you did it. I was national treasurer, first national, for 10 years, and I can assure you that there were a lot of other people who contributed to it. The young executive played their part. Yes, I was the one who advocated for them also to come to the national executive. Those of them who are there can still tell you, but that doesn't mean that they should claim that they were the one who funded the party. No.
In your capacity as the chairperson of the party's Council of Elders, in your capacity as the chairperson of the Council of Elders,
yes,
will you make any attempt to try and bring him back into the fold, or it's too late now?
I think it's too late. Whatever damage he intended to cause, he has already caused.
Well, what damage is there?
We will live with it and we will overcome it. It's not a difficulty at all. If he wants to come, the rules are very clear. He has said openly that he has resigned. If he wants to come back, he has to reapply. The rules are there in Article 3. So he would have to do that and also the various other articles. So if he wants to come, he's welcome to come. We need the numbers. Party is made up of numbers. So we are not pushing anybody away.
What?
All of them are coming over. There's something, I'm not a priest, but there's something called the prodigal son. If you go out and you want to come, you are welcome.
You talk about damages.
And I don't think he's going to, with his butterfly, he's the one who is going to, quote and unquote, revolutionize political thinking and political activity in this country. He must come back. If he has heard, we would look at it, consider it, and bring him back. Those who have, in the past, we suspended some people. We have gotten some of them back. So we can always ask him to come back. And
you talk about damages. What's your assessment of the damage this will cause to the party?
Sorry?
You talked about damages. What's your assessment of the damage this will cause to the party?
Well, for me, personally, and this is my personal, not much damage, but to stand in front of the whole world and begin to talk about issues that things have not been done pretty well, of systems that were an integral part of, that were one of the senior ministers within the party, either of the committee that handles the economy or that. It's quite unfortunate. But whatever it is, so initially, quite obviously, there are people following. Everybody in the party has his own following. So we would rather keep them rather than let them go. So when I say that the damage is caused, it means taking some people away. They'll go, maybe they'll come back, and we'll accept them and tell them, you don't do it again. And if he himself comes, we'll be willing to take him back. But I think I was a bit upset because all of us are there. We've been talking to Alan in private and whatever, and he didn't think that he should come to us because we have not obliged or something. We have not said anything. The fact that we have not come officially to say ABC did not mean that we were not working. And the fact that the National Council or the National Executive, for that matter, did not accept the conditions of a single location voting and whatever should not be the reason why somebody should resign. And this unfortunate incident of somebody being hit in the eye should not happen. But you know, and I know, Evans, that in politics and in all some of these human endeavors, sometimes the